Now, one of the areas that NEO wants to improve, ladies and gents, in their business is the gross margin. You will know that NEO's gross margin has been suffering, especially in 2023, where the gross margin in Q1 came at 1.5%, Q2 1%. On the latest Q4 earnings, gross margin came around 8%, which was something that was not good. But one of the things that the CEO has been stressing about gross margins is that they need to improve, and they want to see themselves having gross margins of over 20%, which is something that is pretty exciting, and it will excite the investors. And he highlighted also what is their plan to get to over 20% gross margin. And the first thing that they said they'll be doing is to develop in-house chips, which they have started doing, and we will talk more about the latest chip that, ladies and gents, it's about to go to mass production. And the second thing that he highlighted, of course, about the gross margin going over 20% was, of course, developing or producing their own batteries. These are the main two things that the NEO CEO highlighted that should, for them to get to over 20% of gross margin, they need to develop these things themselves. And talk about chips, in September of 2023, we read of the first chip that NEO has started mass producing, and this is the laser sensor main controlling chip, which was something that was pretty amazing, right? The second chip, it is self-autonomous driving chip, which NEO announced during their ET9 launch back in December of 2023. That chip, it is, ladies and gents, faster, or it responds much faster than their existing chips they are using, or their NVIDIA existing chips they are using, which is something that is pretty exciting. Now, the third chip, which of course NEO also highlighted or hinted that they might be using, their chip for their phone. As you know that NEO also sell phones. This is a chip for their signals, or for signals on their phones, which is something that is pretty exciting. So this one is for image signals, which is of course something once again that we are seeing NEO doing, focusing on recovering their, of course, gross margins. Now today, ladies and gents, very important today, we just received the news of NEO, ladies and gents, about to see its new, or the fourth chip going into, of course, mass production. And this chip, ladies and gents, is the SAIC model chip. This is something that is pretty exciting, because apparently this chip, it's where the vehicle is built on. So this is it looks like this is the main chip for the NEO vehicles, so which is something that is pretty exciting. This is the main chip again, because apparently the NEO existing models are utilizing the 400 SAIC chip at the moment, and this chip that NEO it's about to take to mass production, ladies and gents, which they developed themselves, it's a 1200 volt chip. So like I said, existing NEO models are built on the 400 volt chip, and these, ladies and gents, and so, like I said, the existing NEO models are being built on the 400 volt module chip, which is something that to get to see, or to get to know that NEO has developed a 1200 volt chip that is about to go to mass production, makes me to be really excited. I mean, NEO's ET9, which they unveiled in December, ladies and gents, it is expected to be built on a 925 volt, which is something that to know that NEO is now about to mass produce 1200 volt makes me to be really excited as a new investor, because it appears that the models that are coming from NEO, probably in 2025 going further, they might be using these in-house chips from NEO. And as I've told you, NEO is already using their own laser sensor controlling chip, and they will be using their autonomous chip. And this is the chips which, like I said, is important, because the NEO models are built onto these SAIC chips. NEO started using these SAIC chips 2 years ago, and to know that they have in-house developed their 1200 volt chip makes me to be really excited. Now, we don't know if NEO will be using this, or it was not confirmed by NEO if they will be using this on the ET9, but since the ET9 it is going to use an 125 volt platform, I suppose that this might be the very first vehicle where we see NIO using their, of course, first of these chips to build for that car, which is something that is pretty amazing, pretty interesting. This is good news to the new investors. This is good news to NIO as a company. And one of the things that some investors don't see is the potential that lies within the NIO stock. I mean, we've got NIO building their own chips. We've got NIO providing battery swapping services to their consumers. We've got NIO doing a lot of things, introducing sub brands, which these fundamentals, if you're only just seeing NIO now and not seeing what NIO could be in the future, you will really miss on the good opportunity that lies within this NIO stock. So today, ladies and gents, this SAIC 1200 volt chip that NIO is about to take to, of course, major production, they have partnered with a company by the name of United Nova. United Nova is a chip maker or producer, and they will be the one to do the mass production for NIO. This chip was developed by NIO, and they are just giving it to United Nova to do the mass production, which is something that is pretty exciting. I mean, you will remember from the later chip or later main controlling chip, NIO said that they are saving about $100 per car from that chip being mass produced by them, which is something that is pretty exciting. And with the autonomous driving chip for the ET9, we don't know how much they are saving, and with this one we don't know how much they are saving, but looking at the kind of functions that both these two chips will be doing on a car, I think, or I bet it will be way more than the $100 they were saving for their LiDAR controlling unit. So I'm very excited about this whole thing, and I think NIO is headed in the right direction, and those of you that remain long and strong onto this NIO stock will definitely be rewarded in the longer term. So I just thought I'd just give you this quick update, because this to me is very important. NIO developing its own chips, it's very important, and we might see NIO not using any other company's chips but their own, which is something that is pretty exciting, and it makes me want to continue loading the boat, because though we might not be seeing NIO what it can be, or though some rather investors might not be seeing what NIO can be in the future, but some of us that are really seeing this opportunity, this potential that lies within the NIO stock, I think we really know what's about to go down. 2025, it will be a wonderful year, I can tell you that, because not only will NIO be selling their brands, but they'll also be selling their sub brands, all of them, which is something that is pretty exciting. And over and above that, NIO will be using their own chips, which is something that is amazing, and I cannot wait to see what 2025 will be like for NIO. Yes, 2024 there are still other catalysts like the Onvo model that is expected to be launched just right now, first week or first half of May, which that in itself it's also another catalyst. But this one for gross margins, to know that NIO continues producing their own chips or making their own chips in-house, makes me to be really excited, because there is a chance that for NIO to get over 20% of gross margins, and I'm excited about that. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought to just give you this quick update. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that likes button, comment and subscribe, and once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey, and God bless you all.